Okay, so in this video we've combined two videos together because there is a process that you need to follow, and that is getting your RSS feed out to the world. And it does mean actually logging into iTunes and Stitcher and Google Play and all the other directories that are out there, because that's the beauty, I can't emphasize this enough, by actually having your link given to enough places, then you've got more chance of getting customers back into your business. So this is something that you need to keep on doing every few months or so, just to keep up with the amount of new directories that are appearing. You only have to do iTunes once, you only have to do Stitcher and Google Play once, but there are more and more people looking for podcasts, and you need to get yours out there. So this is the sort of walkthrough of how to do it, but this is something that you need to keep on going back and seeing if there's new ways of you actually getting your words, getting your knowledge, getting your passion out into the world and bringing customers back to you and back to your business.
So we're in the dashboard here, and what we want to do is go to where we can get our feed, our RSS feed. Now, you can see the arrows, destinations. That quite simply means that's where all your shows will be promoted and published, all the different places that you can go. So I'm going to click on destinations. I'm going to go to edit or view existing, and then I'm going to highlight my classic feed. So I'm going to highlight that. And once I've done that, before I even send it over to iTunes and start giving it to them, what I want to do is go over to Google, and I want to type in feed validator. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into feed validator, and the one that I like is the sourceforge.net. It's the one that I was shown right at the very beginning. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm just going to paste my RSS feed that I had, and I'm going to validate it. And it's going to analyze to see whether it is an acceptable one to be promoted. Takes a little while to do. And there we go. This is a valid RSS feed. So that's perfect. There's going to be some other recommendations where there's certain elements missing, but that is the key thing that you need to make sure. So this is a valid RSS feed, and that's the first stage about making sure that you can subscribe this to iTunes and all the other directories. Okay, so now your feed is valid. It has at least one episode posted. More often than not, we'd like 3. And your test in iTunes is working. So we've tested our feed. Everything's going well on that. So we're going to launch iTunes. So now what I want to do, I want to submit my feed to iTunes. And I found the easiest way is simply jumping back into Google and typing in submitting an RSS feed to iTunes. And the top one that comes up, making a podcast, Apple. I then click on that. And then how to submit a podcast in iTunes, submit your RSS podcast feed URL. So I'm going to click on that. And that takes me right to the page that I want. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put my feed in, and I'm going to click continue, and then follow the steps. It's really quite easy, and this will probably not accept because it's going to say that I've already got a podcast on iTunes. But I'm going to try it anyway. So I'm going to click continue. And then it's going to be sign in to publish your podcast. So I'm going to put in my details. Yeah, as I thought, what should happen at that point is you should get a thank you for submitting this podcast to the iTunes store page. So it's very easy to fill out, but just make sure that you put the name, the author, a short description, long description, the category, language and rating, whether it's clean or explicit, and your artwork as we've shown you. And you'll receive an email from Apple letting to know that you've been approved somewhere between 2 and 3 days. On average, once approved, it'll take about 3 or 5 days. So make sure that you're launching at a day where it gives you longer to get it actually approved. So i.e. don't sort of send it across on Thursday because Apple probably won't be working on Saturday and Sunday. It's best to do it, say, on Monday morning, looking for a Thursday launch, something like that. So that is how you submit your RSS feed to iTunes. Right, okay, so you have added your show onto iTunes, you've added your show onto Stitcher, but of course there's so many other directories that people listen to podcasts from. And so what we need to do is get them on as many as possible so that you will have more and more people having the option to listen to your show. Now, there are some podcasts out there that podcast directories that I don't get anything from. There's others that I get a lot from. iTunes is the one that I use mainly because I can actually configure it. But what you need to do is just get your RSS feed onto as many as you can possibly do. So what I like to do, and this will change whatever year you're going through Podcasters Mastery, is I go to Google and I type in podcast directories definitive list 2017. If it's 2018, 2019, you get the idea, and you will get a load of lists basically here. So we go to this one. This one's grabbed my attention. Okay, so I'm going to click on that. And where is it? Right, there's a load of information here. Right, okay, so he's listed himself as Acast. Right, okay, so on here you've got the links on here. This looks a bit rubbish, to be honest. Blueberry. Oh, here he goes. He's getting into it now. Okay, so Audio Podcast FM, Blueberry, Double Twist. Never heard of Double Twist, to be honest. Right, okay, I'm not on that, so I'm going to do that myself on here. Google Play Music. At the moment, that's only available for shows in America, so if you're in America, jump on that. That's a great one. Us UK guys, we can't do that. iHeartRadio. Listen, okay. Listen Notes. There's quite a few here that I'm not on myself, so I'm actually going to jump down here, and there's a few on here that I've never even heard of. Podcast Blaster. So all you've got to do is go to this URL to add a podcast. So I'm just going to click on this to have a look on here, and I'm going to see if I'm on here. So here we are. So I'm going to go to here and add a podcast. So I'm just going to go to Libsyn, and that's just off screen, and I'm going to get my RSS feed. Okay, so copy. Oh, let's drag that across because it makes sense. Okay, so here is my RSS feed. So you go into Destinations on Libsyn, and you can see here Libsyn Classic feed. So I'm just going to copy that, and then let's get that out of the way. I'm going to go back to here and paste that in, and then add podcast. Please confirm your podcast subscription, and confirm. There we go, it's done. And most of them are as easy as that to do, okay? So let's get back onto here. We'll jump down to here, Radio Public. So how do we do this? This is one's got a form to fill out, enter your name and address, enter your email address. So you get the idea, okay? Some of them are really easy to do, some of them aren't. So I'm going to jump back onto here, the definitive podcast directory list. What have they got on here? Digital podcast, Double Twist, Fluctuate, FMG podcasting, iPodder. So I'm just going to go to digital podcast. Let's have a look on there. How do you do this? Add feed at the top. So I'm going to click on that. You need to sign in. Right, okay, so I'm going to sign in with Facebook just because I'm on Facebook. Sign in with Facebook. Is that doing it? I'm not sure if I'm in on that or not. Let's sign in with Twitter. Let's see if that works. Authorize app. Okay. I'm not sure if I'm on here now. Maybe I have to join. I'm going to click over there on the right hand side, join. sign in with Facebook. Now this one's a bit annoying, to be honest. And some of these you might get that cause you issues getting in there. I'm now going to add a feed. Yeah, once again, I'm going to leave that one. I'm going to jump back on. I don't spend too much time. If they're too difficult to actually get yourself on there, I don't generally bother. But keep on going up and down the list, and you can add yourself to as many podcast directories as you can. And of course, the more you get on, the more chance people have of listening to your show. And that's brilliant about podcasting. You record it once and you link it to as many places as you can, and after a while it starts kind of taking over, and I find my show on places, as I say, I've never even heard of. iCatcher. I'm just going to click on that one. Powerful podcast player. Subscribe to your favorite podcast. About. Contact. Right, okay, so I'll probably have to contact them and actually apply, but it's worth doing. And that's how you do it. So get your show out to as many places as you possibly can, because people will find you in different areas.